Hey everybody, it's the Linkzilla here, and welcome back to another Minecraft Kaijerica update. Now, when we last left off, we had just succeeded in defeating the King of Terror, King Ghidorah himself. Managed to make a whole lot of good armor out of his out of his remains. So now we're basically thinking about we're planning our next step here. Unfortunately, I have some pretty bad news. While I was dicking around over there in the park, one of the Pachycephalosaurs died on me, and I have no idea what caused it. I don't know if it was a fight with one of the other ones, or if he starved to death because he glitched into the side. So I basically have got to find a storage place to put this stuff. Right. Now, I can finally put some Ghidorah-related trophies on display. I think that basically I'll get some more frame posts. So weird being able to fly around all the time. See, we'll put the scale there, Ghidorah bone there, and the skull goes right there, right next to Godzilla. I just kind of wish that they'd kind of darken in the eye hole of the skull. I have no idea what it's actually referred to. Eye cavity, I suppose. Keep up the good work, Dr. Serizawa. You know, I'm just now realizing that I haven't taken the opportunity to sleep in my bed. Should probably do that, because now I have an extra long bed. I need to build myself a decent house. I mean, this is nice and all, but it's hardly adequate. I need to build myself an actual base. I mean, this lab is just fine, but anyway, that's not what we're going to be focusing on with this video. So for those of you who are asking, what are we going to do in this video? Well, I've been building it up I built it up in the last video that what we're going to do is we're essentially going to pretty much cut down that entire forest on the other side of the shore, and we're going to build some kind of, I don't know, something over. We're going to build like a more decent dinosaur park over there so that my animals will have a lot more room. But unfortunately, I mean, basically before I get about doing that, I basically want to make sure that I have enough resources. A specific type of resource, to be more precise. So I'm basically going to take this opportunity to do what I've wanted to do for like a long time for one of my Minecraft worlds that I never really got around to doing. Mainly because when I first found out about them, I was told a vicious rumor, well, a flat-out lie, that the game changed the rules and this trick that I'm about to do no longer works. But it still works, so I'm gonna need that glowstone, and you know what? I think that I need to get rid of this stuff too. Why do I have so much miscellaneous armor that I don't even like? In fact, I'm debating on whether or not I should even keep the flans mod at this point. I need to get more obsidian and a whole lot of volcanic rock, but anyways, it's just me talking out loud at this point. I'm gonna take this opportunity to sleep in my bed. Look at all that leg room. Finally. Especially because in real life I have in fact been sleeping on a bed that is far too short for me. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're basically going to come over here, and granted, basically this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to have the ability to fly, so that building this will be a whole lot easier. Now, it's probably not going to stay out here because this basically is pretty much going to be, well, where I build my animal park, so consider this a temporary area. This is basically either to just get the ball rolling, and if it really comes down to it, I'll either dismantle it piece by piece and rebuild it somewhere else using a silk pickaxe and whatnot, because I think that I'm perfectly comfortable with doing that at this point, or I'll just use MC Edit to move it. I don't know. tell me which one you guys would prefer, but one thing that I basically have always wanted, always loved about Minecraft back when I first started playing is the idea of an iron farm. Yep, that's basically where you pretty much build a isolated village of and fill it with villagers for the sole purpose of creating iron golems, because every few minutes or so when you have enough villagers in your village, an iron golem will spawn. And as you can see over there in my home village, basically having all those villagers over there causes 3 iron golems to spawn. So basically and basically the idea is that once the iron golems are spawned, they are transported into a holding pen where they can be killed off, and you can basically farm them for their iron ingots. It's a great and quick way to get a whole lot of iron in a very short amount of time. I recently tested the old classic designs with a 20 by 20 box, and they still work. They're a bit slower than I would like, but then again, I did only build like 1 or 2 of them, whereas the first time I ever did this, I built like 4, and I would wait hours in between using them. But basically what I want to do is I want to create an AFK farm, something that'll basically be activated while I am basically either off at work or basically like over in class or whatnot, and the Lyopleurodon pen still up in the sky. I'll deal with that later. But anyway, the trick with building these things is that you gotta basically have them away from other villages. Like, right now, we're almost about 150, maybe 200 blocks away from my village right now, and that should basically be enough. Because you don't want to basically have it too far away to where transporting your villagers becomes impossible. So, and that's another thing that I'm going to have to do, is I'm going to have to get a whole lot of... I'm gonna have to get a whole lot of mine tracks and mine carts in order to get the villagers up here, or I don't know. I just don't know what I'm gonna do, because I've just been watching like so many people on YouTube doing stuff like this, and it's like, you know what? I want to friggin' try that. So, but part 1 of me doing this was that I had to basically get a suit of armor that would allow me to fly around in the air, because the trick with building these things is to make them up in the sky. Basically, like, you have to have, like, horizontal distance, but you can also have vertical distance. So, basically, like, depending on how you build, they recommend about 10 blocks off the ground, but I'm actually going to make mine a bit higher than that so that I can basically, like, I don't know, so that I can basically move it later on. And pretty much I'm just going to be able to fly around here in this area once this thing is completely built and everything. So the building process is going to be made a whole lot easier. And basically this will be like an important video, because this will be the first time that I'm ever going to do a third-person time-lapse. Yep, I friggin' finally found a way to do third-person time lapses thanks to a little mod called the Camera mod, and or the Camera Studio mod. So, anyways, that's a little shout out to the mod right there. Basically, they say that I need to add a link to it in the description below, and I'll certainly remember to do that. So, basically, I'll get that all started up, and I'll contact you guys when I am done. See you then. Hey guys, just a little quick update before we friggin' get started. I basically friggin' forgot, so I pretty much forgot to basically tell you, like, how and what type of iron farm I am going to make. It's basically going to be based on the classic design with the 20 by 20 base area, but I basically always looked at that, and I found it kind of awkward that these big 20 by 20 blocks were just hanging there in the sky, so I wanted to change it up a little bit. So I actually tested this out on a creative world, and I basically have pretty much changed the design of the farm in order to be circular, in order to make it resemble a UFO. So basically the story is that basically, like, once I'm done building it, I am going to add like a whole bunch of decorations to it. So the story is going to be that aliens are actually invading down onto my Minecraft world. They are abducting my villagers, and they are replacing them with robots, and that's what the iron golems are going to be about. So, like, the distribution tunnel that's basically going to, like, put all the iron golems, transport them all down to the ground, that's going to be like the tractor beam. So Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what my idea is, and what this is eventually going to look like. It's going to take me a while because I need to basically kind of experiment with it, but anyway, let's get started. Okay, everybody, we're back. Note to self, don't leave the game while you're still flying with Ghidorah's armor, because the game will drop you when you come back in. I guess the game just doesn't really recognize you as being able to fly in adventure mode. As you can see here, I basically have the iron farm basically all set up. Basically speaking, this right here is meant to be the center of our village, and these four little capsule things on the side, those are where the villagers go, and all these doors surrounding the side will basically cause the villagers to breed. Basically, these doors basically kind of like make this act like a village and whatnot. So basically, by sealing it all up like this will basically guarantee that this will work. So basically, like, I kind of ran out of time during the time lapse when I was building these things, and I finally got them on right. Here's another thing that I have to do. I don't think I'll be doing the time lapses for a while, at least maybe until I switch over to my better computer for now. But because basically, even though the time lapse does look good to you guys, it basically kind of dropped my frame rate down and kind of slowed everything down. Basically, for a while there, I was pretty much like, I wasn't able to really do anything as quickly as I wanted to. I was not expecting to have to take the full hour to actually build this thing, but because of how slow I was forced to go, yeah, it did. But anyways, Right now, these capsules here aren't exactly complete. I need glass. I want the bases of them to be made of glass before I put the villagers in. But as you can see over here, I've already started to get the villagers on over here. I basically made this path out of wool, which I harvested from killing spiders and putting their strings together to make these blocks of wool. And I basically had to pretty much scour like all around all the abandoned mine shafts in the area, as well as maybe even making some rails and some powered rails in order to get the villagers up there. So I already got those 4, and it goes all the way back to the village. I chose to make this out of wool because it's a relatively inexpensive block and it'll be easy to get rid of once I'm done with all this. But anyways, just wanted to show you guys that that's where I am right now. So I'm gonna head on over to the desert over there, and I'm gonna start farming for glass. I'm gonna start mining sand in order to basically like get glass, and it's gonna be quite a long and tedious job. So, basically speaking, this is the part where I'd be like, hey, why don't I just build that super smelter that I've been wanting to build for a while? But unfortunately, I can't build that because it takes a lot of iron. So I basically need the iron in order to build the super smelter, but I can't have the super smelter until I finish the iron farm. So I just had to bring furnaces regular like this. Don't want to disturb the sugarcane though. Hopefully 8 pieces of coal per will do it. That should basically take out a stack of sand each, and I don't really see the need for getting more than 16 stacks of sand if I can even carry that amount. I think I certainly brought plenty of coal, though. Anyway, once I get started on digging for the sand, I basically am going to probably end up doing some kind of time lapse or whatever. First person, it's just probably going to be quiet, so maybe I'll put music over it, I don't know. Still kind of new to this whole thing. So anyway, here I go. Wish me luck. Okay, so we are finally back. That took far longer than I wanted it to, but I finally got all the glass. And we're not just going to be using this glass in order to basically, like, fill in the villagers' little holding cells. We're also going to be using it to decorate it as well. So, basically speaking, I wanted to have, basically, as you guys can basically see with the circular shape, it doesn't exactly look like a UFO right now so much as it looks like a giant drone. So, basically, I think that for now I should be okay with just one stack, so I'm just going to throw most of the stuff in here so that I can have more room to play with. Alright, now that basically looks good so far, but now basically comes the tedious part, because now I basically have to add in the water. And basically because my design is circular and not based on friggin' not basically a box that like the original one is. Basically, the idea with the box is that everything is being pushed towards the center, but I can't put in too many water sources in there or else they'll all become water sources. Now, that might not seem like a bad idea, just having the villagers bounce around and just basically just swimming in the water in there, but the idea is that when they're being pushed towards the center, they have no choice but to interact with each other. However, my design has the unfortunate side effect of you can only put water sources here, and it creates a bit of a cyclone. Basically, like, they do get pushed towards the center, but with how much they move around and fight against the current, they often end up in these corners. So, it's unfortunately, even though I've tried to play around with it, at present, there doesn't seem like anything that I can do about it right now. Alright, pretty sure that one goes there. This one goes here. Man, I am running out of time here. I've got to finish this before I go to bed because I want to basically have the iron farm all prepared and ready to go so that I can AFK while I'm at work tomorrow. Hopefully my animals over there will be okay. Oh well, the map is backed up. Alright. Now it's time to move the dum-dums in there, so... dang it, I don't have one of the powered rails on me, so I'm just gonna go back here and replace one of them. What the heck are you doing up here? I didn't know that you guys could spawn on tracks. Or on wool, for that matter. Hey. That's the problem with using a very powerful pickaxe. Also, I just now remembered that I haven't really considered how I'm going to get these testicle heads out of the minecarts. So, just break that down and... Oh, don't you dare... Back, I say. As you can see, that one is actually not doing too good. So, he's in. Let's see if I can see about breaking his minecart. Oh, certainly don't want to kill him. This guy is just as weak. Huh, it's ironic. When I started, that guy was a baby. Right, so that's all four with the villagers in one cell. But here's the bad part. I gotta now do that for the remaining three cells. So I'm gonna basically cut the video here right now, and I'm basically gonna come back to you guys when I have everything done. So